Welcome back, backyarders. I am on to day, I don't know, it's day 2, I believe it is, or something like that, on the build of this SEMA vehicle for Hyundai. As you can see here right now, the dash component is sitting in place. This is what I've done is I've taken the factory bezel structure and I've gone about just absolutely rebuilding it, not the way that it originally was. So it's been kind of a little bit of fun doing this, but as you can see here, we have a tablet sitting inside here that is the new instrument cluster. One of the couple things you can't see right now is that over in these corners here, I noticed that all the colors in the background, and I'm trying not to say as much as possible. The colors in the background were some way blue. That they had like a background of blue to them. So what I'm doing is I'm going to add in some highlighting in this area. I've also made an area up in this section of the dash to maybe do it. I'm not too sure because I think that if I throw light, up this direction, I'll wash out, too much. So I'm not gonna worry about it right now. Oh, it's powering down. The rest of the dash, I have taken it all apart. As you can see, there are two components actually. This dash is consisting of two main parts: the vinyl component here and the actual structure here. I'm going to keep this piece intact. This is the one that I don't want to actually have to screw up because all the mounting structures are here. This is what actually holds most of it in. And then up at the top there are a series of screws that are sticking out across this, the top of the firewall here. And those actually attach to the leading edge up here of the dashboard. So I'm going to try to keep those all intact. Now here, this section of the dash, which was all the factory components, which I'm putting back in most of the factory components, I'm adding in another tablet. Here, down a little bit, maybe lower. I'm not too sure. I'm debating radio down lower, tablet lower, radio navigation. One of those I'm going to figure out which way I'm going to configure it. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going on the fly. I'm going to let this just, go as a build. So, maybe an iPad right here, and then the radio, then the factory nav. And all of that is to be rotated so that we have this cockpit view type thing where everything is coming at us in some sort of an angle. So that's what's going to be happening throughout. So starting from the top here, swinging down, in some format, this will all now be one big huge piece framed out. The idea would be is that on the framing, I want to try to keep, you see how this has been a painted surface. Well, the car is being repainted, so we're going to have these areas, these edges and stuff, they're also going to be repainted so that we have this really nice look. Now, in the center con, I've got to do something, you're going to have to excuse me, I'm going to walk to the room. In the center console, one of the big little fun times I got to do here is I got to take all the factory all the factory climate controls here, plus also iPod integration, 12-volt integration that you would ever need. The problem is these are all fully, I cannot, these are the type of new systems where you can't just simply dismantle. I could do it, but to be quite honest with you, I would spend a week just rebuilding this piece so that I have switches and stuff to make it all work. I've got to come up with the values, there's a whole slew of reasons why I don't want to do it. So I'm going to go on the simple, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it to here in the center console so that basically you'll have the new control system, would be inside the center console here in some way. I'm just going to figure out, I just realized it looks like a game controller, doesn't it? So this piece here, this is some sort of a locking mechanism. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I've seen this in Mercedes where you have to put the dongle back in. This is for the factory key for certain programming features. So I have to keep this intact too. The USB and iPod section here, I want to go ahead and put these in, and auxiliary inputs here. I want to use these just simply so that the car, for today's reasons, we have iPads, pads, any kind of 12-volt source. So I want to be able to make sure that I have a 12-volt source, a USB source, and also an auxiliary source for the factory radio because the factory radio has all those components in it. So, but for now, that's it. I'm going to be start doing this. Now, one of the things I'm going to do that's going to be different about this is that I'm not going to actually do any kind of wood structure. This is all going to be a plastic structure bonded into it so that when it's done, I have a very nice, and so what we'll do is we'll just repaint this whole area here. I'll even keep for the cable, this is actually for the cable, so when you close down the lid, the cable runs through it. So, and you can see here there's another 12-volt source here. So my thoughts is maybe 2 of them. I'm not sure. I'll figure it out when I get there. But, oh, excuse me for the again. The one thing I do also have to make sure of is I have these 2 bolts down here at the bottom. These 2 bolts here are for obvious reasons. You got to bolt the thing down to the floor. So I have to figure out exactly how I'm going to do that too. Because once I build this whole structure, it's going to block all this off. So anyway, until I see you guys in a couple of days or so, or a day or so, I'm Matt Bogart, and this is Backyard Installers.